I'd like to call to order the meeting of Monday, August the 9th of the Port Huron City Council, and if you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk would please take the roll.
Councilmember Archibald.
Here.
Councilmember Ashford.
Present.
Councilmember Lamb.
Here.
Councilmember Mosrak.
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton.
Here.
Councilmember Ruiz.
Here.
Mayor Rep.
Here. You have the minutes before you from the regular meeting of July the 12th. Is there a motion to receive and file?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Support. Councilmember Ashford and Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Is there any changes to the minutes? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes will stand as submitted. Move on to public comment. If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to address the City Council this evening, either on any agenda item or any other item under our control, please come forward to the podium. Give us your name and at where you live, and you have 4 minutes.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Katie Gardner, the Recreation Supervisor for Port Huron, and I live in Marysville. I'm here tonight to stretch the month of July a little bit longer because July is Recreation Month. And I want to stretch it just a little further because I think recreation is just so very important and it should be celebrated for a whole another month. We really get to see working in recreation the positive impact that we have in the community, and with my position at the rec, I get a front row seat to that every day. But I wanted to bring the opportunity tonight to you to be able to see some of our recreation staff and recognize and celebrate some of their efforts. So here with me tonight, I have Maggie DeCoyer-Watson and Jacob Murfin. They are pool supervisors, awesome leaders over at the pool. They're doing a great job training lifeguards and showing them the way as far as bringing rec to the public. And we also have Ryan Mayer here. He's one of our lifeguards. Ryan, can you come up, please? So Ryan, I think, is probably a little bit unsure of why he's here tonight. I am sure that Ryan just sees himself as one of our everyday rec staff. He's just one of the bigger team. But we received a letter from Port Huron School District about Ryan's efforts with a particular student, and I'd like to share that with you. So this is from one of the teachers who works with the student. She says, as part of our afternoon activities for summer school, we were able to take our deaf and hard of hearing students, along with some general ed students, to Sanborn Pool for 7 sessions. We have a student who is deaf and also has other health issues related to her syndrome. She communicates through sign language. She was quite apprehensive about water at first, but the supervisor at the pool, Miss Maggie, who's retired from Woodland, knew some sign language and immediately paired our student with one of her lifeguards, Ryan. Ryan attended Thomas Edison and had learned some sign language as the DHH program was housed there when he was in elementary school. He quickly began asking for additional signs and began working with A. At first, she would just walk around the pool and then sit on the steps, but by the end of our time there, he had her doggy paddling and floating. It was heartwarming to watch them look for each other each day. Ryan was given a special name sign, the sign for guard, made with R's. How do we do that? Good. That's great. And our student gave him a thank you card on our last day there. Their smiles set it up. Please let me know if you would like any additional information. So thank you, Ryan and Maggie and Jacob, for doing such a great job at the pool. You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes. Very nice. We do have a good staff over there, so I'm glad you came forward tonight. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the City Council this evening? Cap?
Mayor Rep, council members, my name is Brent Gillette and I live at 1723 Military Street. And I just want to take this moment to say thank you on behalf of the citizens of Port Huron for supporting the Tuskegee Airmen exhibit that'll be coming up and the memorial that'll be coming on. So I just wanted to say thank you for all the support that the city brought to bring this to life, to make sure that our citizens and future citizens, as well as our young folks, will hear and see the historical value of what is going and what had happened in the past and how we memorialize those folks for the future. And it wouldn't have happened without your support. And I want to thank you on behalf of the whole team at the Tuskegee Airmen Committee that put this together. So thank you very much.
Thank you. We're looking forward to that celebration at the end of the month. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the City Council this evening?
Howdy y'all, Tyler Moldovan, 1412 Pleasant Place, just on the north side of Pine Grove Park. My mind will forever isolate that sound in my head. I'm just looking to get some support from City Council for safe streets initiatives throughout the city. Specifically, you know, in my backyard, the road that Prospect turns into Thomas Edison Parkway is basically drag strip on Friday, Saturday nights. And that's a lot of illegal speeding for a lot of families that are moving into the neighborhood. I know that there's at least one in attendance today, my neighbor. But there's tons of traffic calming measures that we can do. I've researched this, I've shared it with a few of you, I'm sure, at this point. But there's tons of things that we can do to make our streets safer if we prioritize all users of the streets, not just cars. Getting some sort of support for safe streets across Port Huron for all users.
Okay, thank you. We have a little sound problem.
Yeah, I think we're getting some interference, so if you're not using your microphone, if you tap that off, that may help.
Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the City Council this evening?
Good evening. My name's Brandon Huntoon. I live at 829 Prospect Place. Just want to attest to Tyler's statements just about the speeding that takes place on Prospect Place. We have my wife and I, we have a young family, just moved back from Saginaw, so we're excited to raise our young family in the city, and it's a beautiful place to live, right by the river, right by Pine Grove Park. The only thing is with Prospect Place being 25 mile an hour, it's people blatantly speed down that road more times than not. And like Tyler was saying, I think there's a lot of easy practical things that we can do, whether it be like raised speed tables, signage. You know, there's a lot of different examples of what we can do to possibly just bring a curbing to the speeding that takes place on this road. And then also, we would like to see the park, like on the north side, it would be really nice if it was a little more accessible as well. There's really no way when you're coming from when you're trying to enter the north part of the park without having to go into oncoming traffic, there's really no way to cut into one of the sidewalks leading into the park. So I think like that two-prong approach of traffic calming and park accessibility would make the area just a much safer, much more fun, enjoyable place for the young families growing up there and people that visit from out of town to different and really cool events that are being held there as well. So that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I know our city manager has been looking into this, so I don't know if you want to give us a little update on that.
So we have looked at that intersection. So the data, I met with the property owners there as well, and pulled the data. The traffic safety data just shows it to be one of the safest sections of roadway in the city. We have not had many accidents at all in the last couple of years. We have referred it to the Traffic Safety Committee. Any type of traffic safety signs need to go to the Traffic Safety Committee for approval, so it will be going to them. It is illegal to do speed tables like that in that neighborhood. So some of the things that are requested are not legal for us to do. They may be legal in other states. It depends on what your Google search shows. So we are looking at it, but as of right now, the traffic safety data for that section of road proves it to be a relatively safe road with minor accidents, if any accidents, depending on which year you look at. So we will have the safety committee look at that, and they have to promulgate the signage and rules for that section of roadway.
And we bring it back, not that we have to approve it, but at least let us know
Yep,
what's
correct.
going on.
Yep.
Okay.
We do anticipate new signage and a new sidewalk on that side of the road.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the city council this evening? You can come forward to the podium, give your name and address in 4 minutes, please.
So my name is Irina Dennert. My address is 2415 Maple Street.
What was your last name again? I'm sorry.
Dennert, D-E-N-N-E-R-T.
Okay.
Okay, so I moved into the area about 4 months ago. I'm having issues with, in the neighborhood as well, with the neighbor on Cherry Street raising foxes. He actually has marble foxes. I called DNR today. They came, they said they're legal to be raised there and kept, so he's keeping in the neighborhood foxes. So, red foxes are illegal, I was told. I called animal control, I called police numerous times. They are not sleeping, they're making a lot of noise. It really smells on that, that street, on Cherry Street, that neighborhood, because urine of foxes is pretty strong. And he built in his backyard cages, metal cages, where they heat up so hot, it's probably for those animals to be there. Well, animal control guy did come by a couple days ago, and he said he cannot see any violations in raising them there. Well, DNR said that's not their competence to because DNR only if you violate raising red foxes, then you're not allowed to have red foxes to be raised, but marble foxes are allowed, he told me. Well, this is not really the issue, is about raising. It's a neighborhood issues. We as a neighbors cannot sleep at night. They're fighting the foxes. Now he got babies. They're making a lot of scratching noise and just fighting noise. I don't know how other people living on the Cherry Street, I know they were calling police too at night. And it's just the smell thing, the noise thing at night, and I just think it should be something in place of, if he wants to raise foxes, he should have at least an acreage of a property, not a small property on a Maple Street or Cherry Street where you cannot even fit the dog and he's raising foxes. So I think there should be something in place. Police officer told me there is nothing in, something he can do. Nobody can do anything, so it's really up to you guys what you're gonna do about it. But neighbors are concerned.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Bringing it to our attention. I'll have the city manager look into it. If it's not in our ordinances right now, obviously that is something that then they can't address, but doesn't mean you can't have something in the future, depending on the situation, so.
All right, yeah, and the neighbors did say that they really can, if we need to get a documentation about the noise at night, because of at nighttime is a lot of noise, a lot of screaming, they scratch, they fight, whatever. So we can probably, get signatures if that's there, but there is at least a couple police reports made from me personally, and I called DNR as well, so there is some records in there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
have our city manager look into
I
that.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the city council this evening? Seeing no one, I'll declare public comment closed. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Support.
Turn that back on. Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Pemberton. And we can take the vote.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp?
Yes. The items on the consent agenda received and filed notification from the Michigan Municipal League about the annual convention being held September 22nd through the 24th in Grand Rapids, and designating Pauline Rapp as the voting delegate and Councilmember Pemberton as the alternate. Received and filed notification that the annual conflict of interest statements have been reviewed and no discrepancies have been noted. Reauthorizing participation in the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's Redevelopment Ready Community Program and appointing the planning director as the project coordinator and authorized representative for the program. Approving the scheduling of a public hearing for September the 13th, 2021 to hear comments on the CAPER for program year 2020, and confirm the mayor's reappointment of Jasmine Thomas to the Planning Commission for a term to expire August 11th, 2024. And we will move on to from the city manager, number 1.
Accepting the quote from Dell EMC in the amount of $41,112 for the purchase of 18 new Dell computers and required equipment to outfit police patrol cars.
Is there a motion?
Support.
Councilmember Ashford, supported by Councilmember Mosrak.
Madam Mayor, you have the memo there. Essentially, our computer software is aging out. They need to be upgraded to Windows 10 for security and compliance with CLEMIS, and the current hardware doesn't support Windows 10. So this will be a multi-year investment.
Okay, any questions for the city manager?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Is this just limited to the 18, or we have more to get?
This will take care of all patrol
All
units.
of them?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We will take the vote.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp?
Yes. Item 2.
Accepting the bid from Ace Saginaw Paving Company in the amount of $142,811.90 for the 10th Avenue Street resurfacing project from Holland Avenue to Sanborn Street.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Pemberton, supported by Councilmember Lamb. Is,
Madam Mayor and Council, the reason why we're putting this project forward to you now is that this section of roadway will be used as the detour route when we begin the Gratiot project next year. So we need to have the detour passable before we can tear up the old road.
okay. I wondered, 'cause it didn't seem like it's been that long since we did that section. And there was a lot of controversy back then when it was done, that it wasn't done right, so I don't know if that's one of the reasons why it's failed or not. I don't know. You weren't around then.
No, was I alive then?
Oh, thank you. Yes, you were alive then. Yes, you were, but you might not be for long. Is there any other questions for the city manager on that item?
Just a point of reference, even though it's convenient for the detour at this time, still Pazer is still considered.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that's significant. You should mention that. Okay, thank you.
We will take the vote.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton? Councilmember Ruiz? Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp?
Yes. Item 3.
Accepting the quote from Choice CRM in the amount of 90 cents per ticket and a quarterly fee of $1,055 for the ticket sales at McMorran Place.
Is there a motion? So moved.
Support.
Archibald, supported by Councilmember Mosrak.
Madam Mayor and Council, two things. One, I want to thank Rob Churchill, Ashley Reifert, and Natasha Hayden for doing a significant amount of work and due diligence looking at different suppliers for this project. This will save us about $12,000 annually on the internal side of it, but on the external side of it, Ticketmaster was adding more than $9 a ticket. So it was $9 more to buy your ticket online than it was to come to the box office. That fee will be eliminated. So not only are we saving money, but the users are actually going to save money, which makes us more competitive to order their tickets online. So thank you, Rob, for looking into that. This was something they've been looking at for the last couple of years. We knew that Ticketmaster was not fair to our users or to us, and so they've done an excellent job.
Thank you.
Mayorette?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Archibald.
I just wanted to add at the county commissioner meeting, or at the county, I don't know how that came out, but at the McMorran Commission meeting, apparently I've upgraded or something. At the McMorran Commission meeting, we did ask extensive questions about the research that they did for this company, what other arenas or theaters are using this company, just to make sure that they had a good reputation, that people were happy with the service, and that we weren't just looking at saving dollars, but we would actually get a better product as well.
Very good.
Yeah, Mayorette,
Yes.
yeah, and it says right here, along with the cost, there were many more benefits. What, example, many more benefits?
Specifically, the cost to the user of about $9 per ticket price.
Okay, yeah, I know that's the cost, but it says a cost saving plus many more. Is there anything else? So right now,
You can go to the podium, why don't you? Go ahead, Rob. You get your chance to get up there.
Thanks, Mayor and Council. So currently, when Ticketmaster sells online, they don't give us really any of that information of who's bought the tickets and things of that nature. With this new company, we hold all that information in-house now. And then also, if you were to rent the theater and you wanted the first 3 rows of seats to be a certain price in the next row, with Ticketmaster, we have to have them build a map every single time. This way we can build our own maps. They go online, you can buy them right on our website. If for like Town Hall or somebody wants some on their website, they can sell them directly from their website.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, is
Yep.
because it's always the cost, but the quality of that cost makes a difference.
Right, and with the online fees that customers were paying before, we were basically selling about 15% of our tickets online, and that's it, and that's very low.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob.
And any other questions for Rob while he's there? Thank you. We will take the vote.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb? Mayorette?
Yes. Item 4.
Accepting the proposal from Panchira LLC in the amount of $116,683.78 for the purchase and installation of a new play structure at Mansfield Park.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Councilmember Pemberton, supported by Councilmember Lamb.
Madam Mayor and Council, we allocated out of our American Rescue Plan funding to redo our outdoor public spaces and parks to make them more apt to use for creating healthy neighborhoods and healthy areas. We have seen, whether it be South Park, Knoxfield, or Palmer Park, whenever we have invested in these parks, the users have just skyrocketed. Mansfield Park is a wonderful neighborhood park. It has not been invested into in quite some time. It doesn't get used a lot because some of the equipment is damaged and needs to be replaced. It doesn't mean there's not families and kids in that neighborhood who need a vibrant and safe place to play. So Nancy's done a wonderful job putting this very innovative play structure together with the experts we've worked with. They've done the last couple projects, but it will be paid for with the American Rescue Plan dollars. If you have any additional questions, we have Nancy Windsor out there for you.
Any questions?
Mayor Rep.
Yes.
Just a quick comment. I have a friend in town from Charleston, South Carolina, as a lifer of Port Huron until he moved down there. Hasn't been back in town for about 5 years, has a young family, and he couldn't have, I had lunch with him yesterday, he couldn't have complimented the city and the recreation department enough to take his daughter, especially Palmer Park is where he grew up. We took both kids to different parks, and he was just, couldn't have been more complimentary in what was going on in the city and how impressed he was. So thanks for that. I thought that was worth sharing, so thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
Yes, no rep. I'd like to ask Nancy, just looking at these, even as much, the one at, Palmer Park, the outstanding significance of the quality, the structures that we're given. Can you come tell us, what do you look for when they're so different from yesterday's, what's the significance of it? Because they really pop. Yeah. By that I meant they're really out, they're just out of this world, they're nice structures.
Yes, thank you. Mayor, Councilman Ashford. We worked really hard with our team to figure out very innovative structures, and we were lucky enough to go to a lot of conferences. That's the one thing that some of our donors, pretty impressed with is the fact that I always say this every time, but I mean, kids have everything at their phone, right? So you have to make it different for them to want to come out and play. And that's what we try to do every day, is try to think of things that are what we don't already have and make each one different. There's a couple of cities I've gone to, and every single play structure is a slide, a swing, and it's like, no, we want different ones. We want people to go to different neighborhoods. I can't tell you how many times I see on Facebook people that I've never seen go to Lincoln Park, just going on and on about the pirate ship, or going to the splash pad at Knox, or going to Optimus, people that are just moving around our city that might not have ever done that. So that's why it's important that we keep each area a little bit different, I think, and a little bit more innovative. And it's kind of cool. The kids were doing a project, and I went and spoke, and all the kids at the elementary school were telling me, well, we read Optimus, and we did this, and it's just nice to hear that they remember, and that's the key, is finding, and it's not always easy, but Landscape Structures does a really nice job of working on innovative pieces, so that's why we like to work with them, that and their government rates, so.
Are all these from the same company?
This one is, yes. Yep.
Okay. And are there safety features also to them, isn't it?
Yes, and our playground safety inspector in the Parks Department, they go around and do regular inspections, but any of the companies we work with are all within the guidelines that need to be met, so.
Yeah, they're really attractive.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank you, Nancy.
thank you.
Any other questions for Nancy while she's there? Thanks. We will take the vote.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherek?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes, item 5.
Accepting the proposal from Panchera LLC in the amount of $322,707 for the purchase and installation of a new playground equipment at Gratiot Park with assistance from the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation, the Community Foundation of St. Clair County, and funding from the American Rescue Plan Act.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Ashford. Go ahead. Mr.
Madam
Freed.
Mayor and Council, again, we were funding this. This is one of the list of one of the most old and needed repair playground structures we have. Kudos to the Parks Department. This will be a fully AV accessible playground. So if you notice a little bit higher price tag, that's because a lot of it's poured surfaces, so that it's accessible to all children with different types of abilities and special needs. And so this will be a fully ADA. It will be a regional draw, to be quite frank. You'll have people and parents bringing their kids from all over who have an opportunity to really enjoy a playground otherwise wouldn't have the communities.
It's very nice. Any questions?
Phone was on, sorry if no one heard that. I prefer the broken system over this.
Yeah, I was going to say with all the noise. Any questions for Mr. Freed? We shall take the vote.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherek?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes, item 6.
Accepting the quote from No Before in the amount of $13,801.50 for employee internet email phishing training.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Pemberton, supported by Councilmember Mosherek.
Madam Mayor and Council, as you've probably read around the state, municipalities are getting ransomware attacks. Lapeer County was completely locked down, Oakland County, some municipalities in Oakland County, all over the state of Michigan has been happening. We have no internal training for employees right now. on phishing emails and on these types of attacks. This company is used by municipalities all across the state of Michigan to provide not only training to employees, but also testing. So they will actually phish our own organization with test emails to see who takes the bait and who doesn't, and then educate those employees on how to prevent them from doing it in the future. We will be applying for MMRA grant for $7,000 to help fund this, and this will be paid for out of the IT fund. But we really have nothing in place right now. And so we called around to a lot of municipalities, and this is very well, highly spoken of.
So all employees will take this training then?
Yep, and they probably don't even know they're going through it when it happens.
Oh,
It's pretty embarrassing, actually.
okay. Is there any questions?
Yeah, yes, Mayor. Have we had any issues?
We have had phishing emails. In fact, they call it spear phishing. I've actually received emails from Pauline. She was trapped in Nigeria, and she needed me to send her money. It was your kid's birthday in Nigeria, and you had to send me money. But they are getting to the point where they go on their website, and they'll find your names, and they'll send me an email from one of the council members. And if it wasn't for the fact that I knew Pauline wasn't going to Nigeria that week, I looked at the email, and it's a fraudulent email address, but they're so sophisticated that when you get an invoice from a company you normally work with, we work with hundreds of different companies, and I get an invoice PDF to me. It is not uncommon for me to just click on the PDF and see the invoice. And the level of, I got an email from Dan at the EDA. Someone went on the website of the EDA, saw Dan's name, created a fake email account, emailed me, and we're a small town. So the idea that some group out there is willing to take the time to Google who we are, and so it has been happening to our organization. We've been lucky in that employees have been pretty smart about it, but we want to be more resilient to it. This is just one of the approaches. Our IT department has done extensive work in backup technology, so we're backupping every night. So if we do get a ransomware attack, we can just wipe everything and try to start over. But the sophistication of ransomware now is not only going after your software, it's going after your hardware. And so this is becoming more and more and more and more, and we just want to put another defensive line out there to really train our folks.
Any other questions?
Is this going to be on an annual basis,
Yes.
this training?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I think it's a very good security-wise idea, protection for us as a city and also for the individual. So that's a good thing. Thank you.
Anything else? We will take the vote.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes, we'll move on to resolutions. Number 1, please.
Authorizing 18 payments.
Is there a motion? Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a
Support.
second? Councilmember Mosherak. Any questions on any of the payments? Take the vote.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 2.
Approving the joint work agreement and access agreement with DTE Electrical Company to perform environmental response activities within the Quay Street parking lot and to facilitate the seawall replacement on city property along with the Quay Street lot replacement work.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Pemberton, is there support? I think Councilmember Lamb already said it, so we'll take that. And is there any questions?
Madam Mayor and Council, DTE last year completed a complete reconstruction and remediation of some environmental issues on the Majestic lot. They did a beautiful job at no cost to the taxpayers. It was, we were very lucky. This is not environmental issues that DTE created. This is what's called legacy environmental issues. So when they bought the old company, they inherited these old sites. DTE has done a wonderful job of tracking this environmental hazards and spending millions to remediate it. To be candid and frank, we didn't have the money to replace Majestic parking lot or the West Quay parking lot. And DTE, while doing this, is graciously allowing us to reconstruct the vast majority of that parking lot, the curb, the gutter, the lights, all on their dime, and the seawall. That seawall there is 40 years old, and DTE is going to replace that seawall and take care of it for us, which is a cost otherwise we would have had to pay for. You see in the map there, the gray area where they're going to work. There is a remaining bit of parking lot there that we will be responsible for the cost of that reconstruction, which will be great because we will tack onto their contracts and just pay for quantities. So again, we are very lucky to have good partners like DTE at the table to take care of these legacy issues that they didn't create, while at the same time giving the city of Port Huron new parking lots that we don't have to pay for. So this is what we call a win-win. So really appreciate DTE doing this. They've just tremendous amount of staff hours with our engineering department. Eric Witter and his team have been constantly working with DTE to identify the scope of the project, the necessary work. And every time we've asked DT for something, they just didn't even flinch at it. So it's really great to have someone like that at the table. So they're going to get started on this winter. So the idea is they get started on this winter, and that by summertime or early June, this project's complete, just in time for Blue Water Fest.
There you go. Very nice. Any questions for Mr. Freed? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Lamb? Yes. Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Abstain, my employer.
Mayor Rapp?
Yes. Resolution 3.
Approving the agreement with Johnson Controls Incorporated for performance contracting project development of 4 city facilities identified as the Municipal Office Center, Palmer Park Recreation Center, McMorran Arena and Theater, and the Department of Public Works facility located at 1812 Bancroft Street.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a second? Councilmember Lamb.
Madam Mayor and Council, we toured these facilities. JCI is a consultant that we've used before. They're kind of a very large organization, which was intentional, so that they have all the subject matter experts in-house to begin looking at these projects. This cost will be absorbed in the performance contract later on, but this will allow them to begin designing the HVAC issues, the UL issues and window issues at all these different facilities, the whole list of projects, and bring those back to council for action.
So assuming that if there's work done, then we get some of that money back, but if they decide not to do work on one of those projects, then it's...
That's if, so the MOC will be left off currently because the council's not taking action on that, so you'll be authorizing essentially the other 3 facilities right now. And then if we do decide to take action on the MOC, we'll have those projects moved at that time.
Okay.
So I won't give the notice to proceed on anything with the MOC.
And we were still going to have a tour of the Bancroft Street. We didn't do that one.
We'll set that up.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Yes, can you, give me some knowledge as to, you said whereas we're gonna use the American Rescue Plan Act for funding for this?
Correct.
Where is that at in the plan?
So it's for safe public spaces and safe reopening. So the American Rescue Plan specifically calls out ventilation, air quality in public spaces and public facilities. And so what we were looking at when we did our tour was all the capital needs that would address public safety, safe reopenings, air quality, as well as specifically child care facilities, which was called out in the American Rescue Plan, which is Palmer Park.
I don't know, you might be right, but I'm kind of totally confused. We had a meeting on this and I couldn't find out how this, lined up with this, being, like legally credible, doing this with the American Rescue Plan. So, I'm not disputing, but I won't be voting on it because I'm not comfortable with it.
Well, I'll just put up the American Rescue Plan calls out by name child care facilities, child care capacity, safe reopening of public spaces, specifically to air quality, ventilation, HVAC system in the American Rescue Plan.
Right, yeah, I have the plan right here,
Yep.
and I didn't see that, but, it's okay, maybe I'm not reading it right, but, I'm not comfortable with that. Thank you.
Is there any other questions from anybody else?
Yes, Mayor Rapp.
Yes.
James and Palmer Park and McMorran, these are the improvements that we saw when we took the tour, correct?
Correct. It's when you did your site visit, we looked at specifically the HVAC issues. A lot of the HVAC handling units aren't even working in McMorran. We have UL issues and air quality issues with the UL rating in Palmer Park. We also have some facility improvements for the child care facility and child care capacity, as dictated in our language. So yes, these are exactly what we've looked at.
Thank you.
and they were itemized out on your, I sent you all a spreadsheet, and it was available in your packet at your last meeting of every single project, and we tied back every single project to the language in the bill.
If I could ask a question, I don't think, though, that some of the things that we authorized that with at that time, doing any improvements to any of those buildings was not part of that authorization, correct?
Of the MOC?
Of the MOC, but any of them, I'm trying to remember back, and I know we talked about it, but I didn't think that we actually voted on that part. We voted on several different things in order to proceed.
At the tour of the meeting, I told you I would bring you a performance contract to design those improvements, which the council could take action on after bidding out.
Which means that's all we're doing right now.
Correct.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yep, correct.
So that does not mean we're just designing these and we would have to do it regardless of whether it was American Rescue Funds or not.
Correct.
So it would be items that are necessary. We just did not include this building at this time.
Correct. And you'll have time to take action on all the bids. Soon we get to that point.
Correct. Because I just want to make sure we weren't confused here and thought we were just proceeding with all of these things because we're not actually proceeding with everything. We're just proceeding with finding out what it is that we need to have done.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
No.
Councilmember Lamb? Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 4.
Approving the sale of vacant lot at 2500 Cleveland Avenue for $500.
Is there a motion? Councilmember Pemberton, supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any questions on the sale?
Non-buildable lot, the property owner was offered to both of them. The one property owner wants to take the property, so he'll begin mowing it and paying taxes on it.
Okay, sounds good. Any comments, questions? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb? Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 5.
Accepting grant funds and approving the development project agreement as received from the Michigan Department of Natural Resources under the 2020 Trust Fund Program to receive funding in the amount of $287,000 combined with a local match of $462,000 for the purpose of constructing an 8-foot non-motorized pathway and connectors along the Black River Canal, Holland Woods Intermediate School, and the Port Huron Northern High School easements as part of the Bridge to Bay Regional Trail System.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Councilmember Ashford, supported by Councilmember Pemberton.
Madam Mayor and Council, as you know, we received grant funding from the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation through the Community Foundation of St. Clair County to begin developing this. Honestly, I think it's a generational project to build a bridge, to create a pathway connecting our school system with our neighborhoods and the rest of our walkway system. So it's a pretty exciting project. Excellent work on Kim Harmer's part and Nancy's part on writing this grant. Thank you to the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation for helping us leverage this with local funds. It's a pretty extraordinary project.
That it is. It's going to be nice when it's done.
Yeah, I was just out there driving by on the tail end of the cemetery on Saturday morning, and it is a beautiful walkway there along the canal. People will really enjoy it.
Any questions? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 6.
Accepting grant funds and approving the development project agreement as received from the Michigan Department of Natural Resources under the 2019 Land and Water Conservation Trust Fund Program to receive funding in the amount of $300,000 combined with a local match of $300,000 for the purpose of constructing a new concrete poured-in-place skate park facility at Optimus Park.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support. Councilmember Ashford, supported by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald.
Madam Mayor and Council, we've been talking about the skate park for the last couple years. The reason why is it was intentionally taking a little bit longer so we get the proper stakeholder meetings done. Nancy Windsor and Kim Harmer held literally numerous stakeholder meetings. They met with skateboarder kids, skateboarding experts from all over this country and all over the city, really talked with the neighborhood and those residents and what they'd like to see. What you don't want is you don't want to build a $750,000 skate park that really isn't built for skaters. And so Nancy did an excellent job with her team and their stakeholder meeting to get this design to you. It's a $300,000 DNR grant with an additional $300,000 from the Tony Hawk Foundation, as well as a local funding and local grant match. So really just an extraordinary job, many years in the making, and there it is for you.
When will it be done, do you know?
Nancy, when will it be done?
Next spring? Okay. Any other questions? We will take the vote.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. We'll move on to ordinances. Number 1.
Second reading and enactment. An ordinance to amend Chapter 2 Administration, Article 6 Finance, Division 2 Purchases, Sales, and Leases of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances for the purpose of increasing the threshold amount for the purchase of goods and services and/or contracts.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Any discussion? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. That concludes our regular agenda. A couple of announcements. Rock in the River started last week, and it will continue on Thursdays throughout the month of August. And in addition to that, we'll also have one on Friday, August 20th. City offices will be closed Monday, September 6th for Labor Day, which sounds terrible. It means summer's coming to an end. The next regular city council meeting, because we only meet once in the months of July and August, will be September 13th. Also, we will be having a ceremony on September the 11th for 9/11. It will be held in the International Flag Plaza. And is there anything from anybody else?
Oh,
No.
I think, yeah, Britt thank Britt for coming forth and talking about Tuskegee
Tuskegee.
Airmen. Yeah, that's gonna be, on August the 26th through the, 28th. We're expecting, you know, 2 of the living, Tuskegee Airmen here, and it's really aggressive, not aggressive, but it's really a heartwarming, ceremony that's gonna take place. The exhibit is gonna open at the Port Huron Museum, and we have a lot of people coming in from the state of Alabama and Washington and Florida. So Port Huron, and we just, came together on this, so it wasn't a one-person show. Giving a shout out to our chambers and James, he had got involved before this, serving on panel discussions throughout the state, and also the mayor. So we didn't just start doing this coming together, just within this 1 month. So we had a team there, the school district, so everybody got their hands in on this, and I just hope and pray that, we can't send everybody invitations. The reception at the, I should mention, at the Port Huron Museum, it is limited due to, I guess, COVID. I'm not too for sure, but it's by invitation only. But there's a public reception, and we are following all the COVID guidelines in as much as possible, so everybody would feel safe. So we just hope to see everybody, out on August the 28th, and just take advantage of, this big statue that's going to be there. I mean, look at James. He was there when they were placing it, and we both looked at it, and I didn't know it was going to be that grand. Yeah. It looked like it should be in Washington, D.C. Well, Port Huron is going to be Washington, D.C. It is awesome. I'm telling you, it is. I had a little tear there, in 3 years, it took to get here. You know, the funding went kind of shaky and when they came to us in 2019, and then COVID hit us. And then we said, even if we were the only ones out there, I think Britt, we said, we're gonna put this thing here regardless. So I just thank God, number one, that we have come this far, we didn't quit, and we persevered. And this is, it just means so much for our community, you know, and the Tuskegee Airmen. And when you think about things like this, it brings us more together than it brings us apart. To see something like that happen here in the city of Port Huron. It's not Detroit, it could have been Romeo, but no, it's our city, the city of Port Huron. And we came out and we actually, and I can't even thank Nancy's department, Ben Pion. I mean, it's just overwhelming with the amount of support that we got, you know, trying to get to where we are gonna get on August 28th. So I just like to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for making this happen. And our council, you were the first stop. Unanimously, we passed it and saying this could happen here for us here in the city of Port Huron.
What time is the public dedication?
The public dedication on the 28th is at 10:30. Good question, 10:30, and directly following it would be a luncheon. And I think they're gonna plan it for the outside, that's in motion. And on the 27th, on Friday, we built in a tour for the people that are coming from out of town. They will be touring our city with the Blue Water Transit. So they're gonna be doing that. And from 5 to 7, they will have a public reception. So, and I think that's gonna be outside of the Doubletree. So.
That's on the 27th.
That's on the 27th. So the 26th is kind of closed for now for the exhibit, but the exhibit will be open on the 27th and the 28th, that you will get in there and be able to see the gentleman that went down in the St. Clair River here. It was 5 of them, but when they brought up the wreckage, they noticed the label on it, and it belonged to Colonel Rayburn and Moody. So I think some of his descendants are going to be here also in there. So I just can't tell you enough. It's just going to be something to be a part of. I mean, that's history. You know, it's nothing we can do or say, but it's history in the making, and such an honor for the Tuskegee Airmen.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Thanks,
Anything
James.
else? Motion to adjourn, is there?
So moved.